Hey guys, welcome to Rosie's Dessert Spot. In this episode, I'll be teaching you how to make this Christmas flower-themed cupcake. I've used a vanilla-based recipe for this, and I'll have that in the description box below. I'm just beating my butter until it's nice and creamy and gradually adding in my caster sugar. Once it's all incorporated and nice and light and fluffy, I'll add in my vanilla extract. And then I'll add in my eggs one at a time, making sure that the previous egg has been fully incorporated before I add in my next one. And then I'll alternate with my dry and the rest of my wet ingredients. So I'll put in my flour in 3 batches, my milk and my sour cream in 2 batches. So I start and end with my flour. And then beat that in until it's just incorporated. And then I've divided the batter into 2 different bowls. Into one I've added red gel food colour, and into the other one I've added in some green gel food colour. I put those into a piping bag and just swirling it into my cupcake forms here. I've added 2 layers of colour, so only until it's maybe halfway up the cupcake liner. Just because it's festive. And then I add a green dollop into the middle of those and use a skewer to start marbling that cupcake. You can do figure 8s, you can do swirls, whatever sort of works, whatever kind of gets that colour flowing. And then I'll pop those into a preheated 180 degrees Celsius oven for about 23 to 25 minutes. In the meantime, I'll prepare some of those flowers. So I've got my red fondant here, and I'm cutting out little rose petals I've used for this flower. Just the smallest one that comes in the pack. Then I've got my foam pad and my bowl tool, and I'm just sort of thinning out the edges and then placing my petal into a leaf veiner, pressing it down firmly just to make sure that the embossed area has been transferred. And that leaves us with a really beautiful and kind of texture on our petals. And I've used 6 petals in total per flower, just adding a little bit of water and attaching the other petal directly in between the previous 2 petals. So I've got 3 below and 3 above, making sure to place them in between each one. And that'll hold the other 3 at the bottom together. Then taking some foil and just kind of making it into a domed mold and pressing my flour into that mold just so it dries with a nice shape. And bend back those petals just to give it a really good, realistic kind of shape as well. And if you like, you can even pinch the edges of your petals. Makes it look even more realistic. You can see here. Okay, and then I'll let those dry for about 2 hours or so. In the meantime, I'll also make some leaves. And I did the exact same thing, just sort of thinned out the edges here. Then put them through the leaf veiner, and then at the very end, to make them look a little bit more leafy so they didn't look too much like the petals, I just went over them around the edges again, pressing pretty firmly to create a really sort of frayed edge, and that really separated them from the petals. Made them look a lot more leaf-like. For the very last detail, I'm rolling a couple of fondant, yellow fondant balls in my palm and just dropping them in. I filled in most of the middle section with it. I've got some yellow buttercream that I've used here with a 1M tip and just creating a swirl, kind of a tall dollop. To arrange the flower on the cupcake, I like to add on my leaves first, the same arrangement as the flower petals. So you've got 3 going in opposite directions. Add a little dollop to stick on your flower and press that right in. And you can see after 2 hours it's still pretty flexible, your petals. Then to take off all that ugly cornstarch and just kind of going over it with a steamer, the steam kind of attaches onto the cornstarch and the cornstarch disappears. And that's how it's done. And that's how you create very effective looking but very easy to make Christmas flower themed cupcakes. Thanks guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed this really quick tutorial, and I will catch you next time. And if you like, you can also subscribe to my channel. I upload a new video every Tuesday and Saturday.